Oh, fish, 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 fish.
The biggest thing that I'm paying attention to in the fall, in my experience and where I fish, is I'm trying to find weeds.
Oh, she's barely hooked. She is barely hooked. Oh no. This is the first muskie I've caught in a while, so I'm a little excited.
Hey, welcome back. My name is Ben Stone, and you are watching canalgratis.com. And the other day, I was watching one of the coolest fishing videos I've seen on the internet, and my friend Tristan from canalgratis.fr was like in urban cities fishing these little canals for trout, which I thought was so cool, so unique. And unfortunately for me, there's nothing quite like that around me. But what I do have are a bunch of musky lakes just outside the Twin Cities that have muskies in them, these big fish. So today we're on a metro lake chasing muskies. It's about the closest thing I could pull off. The goal today is to put a muskie in the net. We are also, dealing with some very warm conditions this October. So I'm also going to be going in depth on how you can expect to find these fish with such bizarre conditions. Depending on when you're watching this video, there may or may not be a video that has come out by now called Top 5 Musky Lures for Fall, where basically I run through my top 5 musky lures for fall. And one of the baits that I talk about in that video is a Cannonball Junior fishing shallow sand or shallow weeds with the top water. One of my favorite approaches to catch fall muskies, and though we're in October, kind of late in the season to be doing that, I'm just gonna try it right off the bat here. Today with the conditions, we're just gonna run through a couple of different techniques until we find something that works.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not feeling this. So we're gonna switch it up because that's not good.
We're in October with 66-degree water temperatures. That's just unheard of. It's not supposed to be this warm in October. Last September, we were down into almost the 50-degree water temperature range. So compared to last year to this year, we've had a major shift in climate, and that can make things complicated for fishing. It can make things extremely tough, and that's something that we have been dealing with, that I've been dealing with the last few weeks, is finding these fish and kind of figuring them out when we have such warm water so late in the season. I feel like I've kind of uncovered some things the last couple of days, and that's information I want to pass on to you. The biggest thing that I'm paying attention to in the fall, in my experience and where I fish, is I'm trying to find weeds. Green cabbage to be specific. Why is green cabbage important? You hear the term cabbage thrown around so much in all species of fishing, but why is cabbage important? Well, the main reason why cabbage is important is because it survives the longest, holds the most oxygen, and those two things combined means it holds bait fish, which in turn means muskies are going to follow because muskies need to eat, especially in the fall. These fish are putting on their feed bags. They're looking for food. So when you find the food, you're going to find the fish. Now, one thing that I was kind of thinking about when, we had these warm temperatures, and we still do, was how does that change things? Because, if we're dealing with temperatures like we have, 66-degree water temps with, mid-70 air temps in September, I'm fishing extremely shallow. I'm fishing sand. So in theory, those spots this time of year should still be holding fish, but they're not. And the main reason for that is just because these air temperatures and water temperatures are still high, it doesn't mean that fall isn't still happening. If you notice on the trees in the background, the leaves are still changing, things are still dying. And the main reason for that is daylight is short. Nights are longer, daylight is shorter, and that's really what is allowing these weeds to die off. This is what's allocating for all of the change in the habitat. So when you keep that in mind, you're really still going to be fishing the same spots you would be if it was 50 degrees out right now. And those spots are some of the easiest things that you can find. It is actually so easy. Muskies seem like such a complicated fish to catch, but that's more because it's a low density fish. You have to spend a lot more time to get bites, to move fish, but these locations are so easy to find. And in this case right now, I'm honing in on main lake structure. Main lake structure is key. We're not running up into shallow bays. We're not running up into river mouths. We are focused on big main lake points, sunken islands, or big main lake bars. All of those pieces of structure in the main lake are going to give muskies both access to shallow water and deep water. So when we're in weird limbo land like this with these warm temperatures, if they feel like they need to go shallow, they have that option. If they want to run out deep into open water, they also have that option. It can be daunting. It can be a little frustrating. You might be convinced that you're doing something wrong, but just fish these main lake bars, fish these main lake weed clumps, and I promise you, you give it enough time, you're gonna hit the window, you're gonna move fish, you're gonna get bites, and of course you're gonna catch fish. So with these weird, bizarre factors that we're dealing with, it only adds to the stress of, finding these fish and feeling confident about what you're doing.
Oh, fish, 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 fish. Oh, she's barely hooked. She's barely hooked. Oh no. He's not hooked good. He's not hooked good. Oh my god, this is the hardest fish I've ever had in that solo. There, I got it. Alright. So I think I've only got one hook in the corner of the mouth here. That's how I do this. Easy enough. Send this out. Now we're just gonna get the bait out of the net, and I can get all my other stuff ready here. That's the bait. Stagger IC9 by Musky Frenzy. This is the first muskie I've caught in a while, so I'm a little excited.
Well, that didn't take long at all. Fish absolutely crunched that Stagger IC9 and Boat Lodge guy. I don't know if you're watching this, but if you are, I'm not sure if this is the point you were talking about, but if it is, thank you for the tip. Not a big fish. This fish is really fat, but just nice to finally catch a muskie. It's been a while for me, so let's take a peek at this fish. Stop. Beautiful fish, absolutely crunched that Stagger IC9, and now we're gonna get her back in the lake. Beautiful fish, nice and fat. Love these fall fish. Looks like she's ready to go. There she goes. Sweet. Well, that didn't take as long as I thought it was going to take. I thought maybe I was going to have to be grinding for a while just to get something figured out, but I started up shallow with the top water, fished a couple spots, just wasn't too confident in it. We're in this like weird limbo land right now where we're not quite into fall. We're still like in summer in October, which is bizarre. So I figured I slid off slightly. I'm still kind of fishing those inside weed edges, still up pretty shallow. And this is something that I talked about in my top 5 muskie baits for fall video. When I was talking about throwing big blades, I talked about finding green weeds and slow rolling over them. And that is exactly what I am doing right now. I am throwing larger blades. These aren't giant blades by any means, but this is a Stagger IC9 by Musky Frenzies. This is a 9-10 combination blade. So you have a big 10 and a little 9. Puts out a very unique vibration, which is really important when you're fishing these pressured waters like I am, just giving these fish something else. And that was the first spot I tried that on, maybe a few casts in. Did not take very long. Fish came in right up to the boat and absolutely hammered that bait in the figure 8. So that is pretty awesome. We're gonna get back at it here, but it just goes to show you, finding those green weeds in fall, the ones that aren't dead are gonna be holding the fish. Well, it's been an interesting day to say the least. The fact that I was able to kind of develop this plan on the fly and to execute it so perfectly is really, really, really awesome. And I really tried to justify everything, to dive in deep and provide as much information as possible, because I know for me, muskie fishing has had a huge learning curve for me, and I feel like a lot of the smaller things nobody really dives deep into. So in today's video, I really wanted to pass on as much information as I possibly could from what I've learned over these past couple of days fishing when conditions have been really tough. So it is my hope that you guys are coming away with something in this video. And if you aren't already subscribed to this channel, be sure to subscribe, because we're posting weekly content, so you have new videos to look forward to every week. With that out of the way, I appreciate your viewership, and I will see you next week.